Okay,
Good morning,
right.
everyone. Can we start?
Go
Good
ahead,
morning,
sir.
everyone. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Sai Kaustubh, Senior Resident in the Department of Surgery at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. I'm also the President of the Resident Doctor Association here, and it's a privilege to welcome you all to today's special mentorship session with Dr. Kaveri Banerjee, one of the leading IVF specialists in Delhi NCR and a committed mentor to young doctors. As we all know, MBBS medicine is a long, demanding journey. When we first enter medical college, we are full of dreams and excitement. We all imagine ourselves probably becoming confident doctors, doing meaningful work, and building happy careers. But as time goes on, reality hits us. The path isn't always as smooth or easy. Medicine challenges us emotionally, mentally, and physically, and many of us reach moments where we start questioning our direction. Then comes one of the toughest phases. I'm sure we are all here after that, the postgraduate entrance exam. We prepare with stress, hope, and uncertainty, and based on our ranks, we choose our specialities and train for another 3 years. But when that phase ends, we find ourselves standing at yet another crossroads. What next? What now? Should we continue with senior residency? Or should we go into private practice? Or should we join academics? Or is there something else within medicine that we should explore? I'm sure all of us will have to face this at some point of time, as I did. The truth is, while medical education teaches us how to treat patients, it doesn't always teach us how to build a career or navigate these life decisions. And that's where mentorship becomes so important. Having someone who has already walked this path can make a huge difference. Someone who can say, I have been there and this is what I've learned. And to guide us is, to be very honest, a privilege. And that brings us to today's session. We are truly privileged to welcome Dr. Kaveri Banerjee. She is an MBBS graduate and postgraduate from AIMS New Delhi and is today one of the most respected IVF specialists across the country. She is also a mentor with the Women Entrepreneurship Platform of Niti Aayog, an initiative which was envisioned by Professor V.K. Paul to guide and empower young professionals, especially like doctors, all of us here today. Dr. Banerjee has generously taken on the role of mentorship, and today she will be sharing her own journey, the decisions she has made, the challenges she faced, and the lessons she learned all along the way. You please feel free to type any of your queries as the session goes on. We'll have a question and answer session at the end, and this is just the first of many such webinars to come, shaped by your feedback and participation. With that, I warmly invite Dr. Banerjee to kindly take over the stage.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sai, and thank you for agreeing to be part of this mentorship program, the first of its kind. And I'm sure as time evolves, we will have more people joining in. As you mentioned, this was an idea that was started by Dr. Paul and I, and we wanted to kind of share our experiences so that young doctors like you and many can learn or unlearn from what journeys we've gone through, the good things that came our way, what advantages we took, what we should not have done. And so I'm going to share the journey right from the beginning to where I am today in the span of the next 30 minutes, maybe. And in each of the phases, share a few learning points. It's not really about how to start the technical parts of opening a private practice, which also I will cover in this session itself, but mainly how you should take your major life decisions, which can push you perhaps towards success. So, without any further ado, let's start. So, my sincere thanks to all my mentors from All India Institute. We had great teachers. So, just to give context, I joined in 1989 And so we had great teachers, Professor J.S. Bajaj, Professor Pandey in my gynecology trainee, Professor Bakshi. And the tenets that we learned from them, the discipline, hard work, which I'm sure you all are learning today as well. But we were in a different milieu. As you know, we all know, our focus was easy to maintain, very different from the situation that you all have today. Also, thanks to my mentors in the UK, whom I'll touch upon, and Dr. Sheila Mehra, who helped me get into the private practice journey. So, this webinar will be unfulfilled if I do not thank and pay my gratitude to my parents, who we all know what we are today is much because of their values instilled into us and the sacrifices they made to make us what we are today. So the first part of the journey is, say, from school to going to London. So that will maybe, it's from 1986 to 2004. So that's a long journey. But in that, I would like to mention that uh, in school, we did come. I would not say that we were highly privileged, but the values instilled, even in school, ninth, 10th, 8th, we used to put in about 6 to 8 hours of homework, study work on a regular basis. And post that, my family, the boys went into engineering, but I did go into medicine because at that point in time, you can imagine 1989, the options of an academic family who is not a business class family were very few. It was medicine, engineering, maybe lawyer, maybe a chartered accountant. So I was told that, I would be a good doctor. Yes, right now I'm just staying. So if you could pin my video and then I will put back the slides again. So uh, at that point in time, I was told that it would be good to start with a medical, career. And I questioned that. I said, how do you know that I will be maybe a good doctor? There was no doctors in the family, and at that point in time there was many things we did because we were told to do. And but very soon I found out that I quite enjoyed the process. So, in today's world, we want to know what is right for us, what is the best thing for us, but sometimes um, it takes a while to figure out. And maybe if the values of discipline, hard work, getting the best of each situation is already in you, whatever comes your way, I'm not saying just take anything that comes your way and take anything that is not to your liking, but whatever comes your way, if you make the best of that, best of each situation that you go through, you will carve a journey and you will start early. But if you wait 5 years, 10 years, 15 years to figure out what is it that is giving me, perhaps it may come or perhaps it may not. I mean, there is a huge debate on this, but this is my personal feeling. So I went into medicine, then cracked all the medical entrance examinations at AIMS. At that point in time, lectures were compulsory. So with the professors and all, Dr. J.S. Bajaj, the teachings were of, it was a different level. We used to think, we used to write. I'm sure it is the same now, but I'm just telling you my part. We were so much in awe of our mentors and teachers. Then, when I did was going to my internship, I was not sure which field I should take. But when I did my internship in gynecology, I saw that there is surgery, there is endocrinology, there is, medicine. and also a lot of patient interaction. So, obs and gynae to me was a full branch which completed everything that I needed to do or interact with. Of course, many of my peers went into pediatrics, radiology, which at that time was very highly wanted, surgery, which I'm sure it's the same now. But my heart went into gynae and I took it. Once that finished, we went into senior residency. We wanted a faculty job. It is a funnel. You have the students, you have your residency, then senior residency, and there's so few faculty. At that point in time, there were really very few faculty positions. So then we went into junior research fellowship, senior residency, then also senior research fellowship, which is called the pool job. After that, that went on for many, many years, and that was a little difficult part of the journey where I was not sure where my life or my career is leading. There were family incidences which, was there was an impact of those also to stay and continue in the same path. But I held on, hoping that one fine day I will get something that will excite me. And throughout this time, when I was not sure, we used to publish right from my MD thesis paper, the JRA, the SRA. In fact, while I was a senior resident, I went to Japan and published my thesis paper, and we got the first prize for it. So, academics was always in my mind that whatever I am learning, doing, let me transcribe it into work that people will know. And that is why we do research, right? And I think it's very, very important that we publish what we do. And that started on very early. At that point in time, it was a Sunday morning like today, and we were having tea, and I just opened the paper, and there was a Commonwealth scholarship. At that time, it used to come through newspaper advertisement, and it was for reproductive medicine, so IVF. And I said, great, let me apply for it. So I applied for it, and I had few publications by then, maybe not fertility related, but they were publications. And I was asked, why do we, in the interview, why would you do IVF when we are actually working towards family planning? So I quoted the Cairo Convention, which said that it's not only family planning, it's reproductive rights. Of course, we have the population growing, but there are women who want to complete their family. I was married with two young children then. Then they asked that question as to how will you leave and go. I said, it's all planned. Please don't take my personal situation into your decision. And so finally, I got the scholarship and I was ready to go to the UK. So this is one phase of my career. And I think there are some teaching points in them. So let's go through those. Uh, I feel that you may wealth or richness or is not your value, is not your treasure. Discipline, hard work, focus, and humility. If these are the points that you have to go to work, you have to show up, you have to do the task committed, then slowly the foundations build up. So these were assets more valuable than anything, and they're far more enduring. So again, I was, a bit into engineering, but went into medicine. Your first resistance may not predict your future passion, and love often grows after commitment, not before it. And I'm not saying wait for your passion, try to understand your passion, but sometimes you get into it and you develop it. It is almost like marriage where you nurture it over the years. Of course, if there's something you absolutely dislike, that's going to be difficult. But don't spend decades on trying to find passion because it may not knock on the door. So, you do your subject and it will evolve with time, definitely, if you have the foundations. So, I married very early, and there were issues with my father, and all this was going on. He had met with an unfortunate accident, and life happens. It's not just me, everybody goes through personal ups, downs, tragedies, but you have to keep it instead. You have to be like a rock in those times of difficulty. Of course, you need support, friends, family. So life tests you with reasons to quit, but your strength comes from refusing to accept. And of course, in my case, the strength in those early years came quietly with the quiet presence and support of my life partner. You need to find support somewhere, but more important is within you, the strength within you that will say, carry on. So, same in private practice, same in any field that you go. It's not going to be easy. But if you quit early, then you've not even started. Again, I feel your speciality, when you finished that course, uh, go through your internship properly, and then choose what your heart tells you to do. It should not be a fashionable topic or something that, this is slightly in contrary to my previous suggestion, but you would know during the path of you've evolved now from your main subject to the next one, what you like and what you completely don't like. And nowadays it's difficult, everybody doesn't get the subject of their choice. Then competitions are difficult. It was difficult at that time as well, but we had a different aims. Undergraduates would get into residency more easily than others. So, yes, follow your gut and follow your heart to choose the future courses in your life. The long journey, I think about 7 to 8 years from residency, post residency, till I went to the UK, was very tough, very tough. It was lonely. I was not sure what I was doing, but I kept on walking. I kept on doing each day. I did what I could possibly do. It was a small lab. My SRF, my JRF, Junior Research Fellow, we used to take blood samples and just do the testing. It was not patient related, but still, I used to do that, and we churned out a paper out of it that came into my CV. And it did help me in my future life. So, make every time life will not give you roses, but make best of each situation. The academic career for all of us. And I feel even today, we are referring to international data, international research to quote what is right and what is wrong. We are the largest population in the world. We have one of the best doctors. We have best clinical acumen. We are just lagging in publishing our work, and it is my request to all young doctors to please change that, and it's going to help you in your career as well. Besides that, we need to be there. We need to be where we should be there, rather than quoting all foreign Western literature. PubMed should be filled with Indian literature, not just Chinese or Western. So I started my first publication in 1993. And this was the paper, this was my research paper, and this got the Best President's Award in the Japanese ONG, this thing. So it gives you another bonus to build up your careers. Then, opportunities keep on coming. So, say I saw the ad and say I just left it. Okay, we will see, we will do, let me see. But then I said, no, this looks something that I want to do. So, application, making your CV, preparing for your interview. I was called again to say why they think that maybe my CV is good, but why I should not go because of the reasons I told you earlier. So prepare yourself and seize opportunities that come your way. Many a time we just say, okay, we'll look at it, we'll see, but that'll go and it'll never come back. So seize every opportunity you think will help in your career path. And whatever you're planning to do, you will hear the negative. You will hear friends, family, mentors, interviewers, seniors, colleagues saying no. But if you're convinced that this is what you want to do and you have a strong reason enough, you must be told that, you know, no is a word always to be questioned. So question it and deal with it. So I this is for women and also for men. I really don't want to make it a woman journey. We all, even men, have family obligations, parents, so many things. We have to carry those obligations. We have to put professional and personal life together and never apologize for that. And of course you need to talk to your support system to say why you want to do what you want to do, garner their support, and go ahead in your life journey, career journey. So this was the first part where I went to the UK, and I was then almost 31 years old. So that was quite some time in my career. When I went there, I went to Guy's and St. Thomas Hospital, and there I was instilled into the assisted conception unit. My mentors were Alison Taylor, Yakub Khalaf, and they gave me it was very clear that initially I would be observing the admin section, the injection section, this ultrasound, transvaginal ultrasound is very critical in IVF. So, from a very, we had been senior residents, and all of you senior residents would know how much work we do in India. From that, I was in a position of observer, just see. But I enjoyed it because I was every day seeing new things, new patients, new ways of recording the system, new ways of communication. And if in the beginning, I was learning about 10 new things a day, and that was really making me happy. With time, it became less. And I would at least target myself that at least one new thing a day I have to learn while I'm here, because my family is sacrificing, I'm sacrificing, and I have to get the best out of this place. Of course, in the meantime, from the meager scholarship money that I got, I used to save, and family and I would meet every three months. So in I also did my MRCOG there and cleared that, and this was a span of 2 to 3 years. I learned about weekly meetings, how important they are. I learned about seniors taking responsibility, negative cycles. Those of you who are in IVF would know how traumatic it is for the patient to get a negative pregnancy report, and even so traumatic for the clinician and the team to explain to the patient, to handhold that patient in that journey. So I saw all that. I learned all that. I saw how much time they give to each patient. Of course, they have all the time, is what we say. But still, even that 2 minute extra to that patient, that full concentration to the patient, the privacy to the patient, it goes a long way. I think it has helped me immensely while I was doing private practice in Delhi. And people did respect the fact that we were respecting each other. So that's very, very important. Post my fellowship, I was told I did learn ovum pickup for those who know IVF, but I was told I could not do embryo transfer because that may reduce pregnancy outcomes and the clinic outcomes. And again, for me, taking no where I feel there should be no no's is very difficult. So I told them, I said, I understand your protocols, but I have come all the way, giving up so many things to learn a few things. And if you say this is not possible, I wish you had told me earlier. I would have rethought where to do my scholarship. So they again looked into it. They first let me do intrauterine inseminations, then they made me do embryo transfers. So, you have to negotiate your way, you have to be assertive. Uh, Giving up, getting upset, screaming, shouting, these are not how you navigate through life. So, those few things helped me take it on. And then I asked my mentor, what next? I've done it all. I want to go back. Is there anything? Can I go to the US? Can I learn something? Then he said, no, there is Mohammed Taranisi. He is the leading IVF doctor in Europe. At that point, he had the highest number of cases. He had the highest pregnancy rates. And so I spent time with him about a year learning what he did and counseling, talking, ultrasounds, observing what he did special for failed cases, hysteroscopy, when he did it, intravenous immunoglobulin, immune treatment. And then when it was time for me to leave, he said, well, we are offering you this much salary and we will relocate your family. And we want you to stay back. But I was very clear I did not want to stay back. So I just said no and came back. And came back to a salary of 25,000 per month at that point in time. And so, but it was very clear in my mind what I wanted. I wanted to serve in the country, and this is a personal story. So I'm not saying the rights and the wrongs. All I'm saying is you need to be sure so that when there are ups and downs, the regret factor is less because you have made this decision by your own choice. The journey here was another story, but let's just catch on a few learning points of my time in the UK. And all of you, while this may seem a monologue, I would want you to keep on jotting down your comments, and so that at the end, which will finish in a few minutes, we can take those questions. So in the UK, the system, planning. Of course, it's there in our country too, but at that point, it was a very new thing to me. There was this huge wall calendar for the whole year. I went in March, and this was on a lighter tone because uh, the British, the French, they all love their holidays, they love their weekends. So they were wanted to know when, and they were also very caring that I should meet my family. When would I go to meet my family? When would they come? So they first blocked off my holidays. Then they told their holidays. So it was this whole year plan so that the patient care doesn't suffer. The staff, the doctors are happy because their personal life is being taken care of. So that was something very refreshing for me. And I learned schedules at that point and the importance of it. So initially, for 3 months, I was not even allowed to hold the ultrasound probe. But observing every day and being very aware of what's the new thing, what are you learning, why are you learning, writing down, questioning is very good. So This learning phase is where you take a seat back sometimes and you just want to operate, want to do this, learn during that time as much as possible. The power of listening and privacy. I think this is a huge strength in private practice or anywhere, even doctors in government hospitals. I know there is the constriction of time, there's a constriction of space, but at least in our field and in every field, intimate details are being shared, and people don't want to do it in front of other people, and we must respect that. So, even if it's a small corner, just talk and take the history in private, I feel, and that will go a long way. And nowadays, I think it is very common to do that. In our times, that was not so. And this is the Egyptian doctor in Guy's and St. Thomas Hospital who taught me ovum pickup, embryo transfer, everything. And but most importantly, he didn't do the new patient consultations. He didn't have to. He didn't do the ultrasounds. For those who know what IVF is. But I saw him having so much of consultations. In I used to ask, what is he? Whom is he consulting? So they were all the difficult cases, the negative cases. He was also the head of the organization, the patient complaints, the staff complaints. So as you go senior, you should not escape difficult situation. Never pass it forward. Try to learn from the difficulties, the mistakes. Apologize when needed. I think this is something we must learn if we haven't. It's okay. We are humans. Of course, huge errors cannot happen. It will come into the medical legal scape, but human errors like, a little extra waiting time, um, so many things that can happen, and your patient is trusting you, is coming to you, a small word of apology, a small word of understanding goes a long way in building the trust, building the rapport. Also, many times we've heard the first few sentences of the patient and we know what the diagnosis is. We know what we have to do. We just know it and we just want to finish that and get on with it. But please pause. For the patient, it is the first or the second interaction with you. They want to tell you what all they have gone through, what all they expect, what all they want to learn. So give them that 5-10 minutes. And, so those things, of course, I learned it from my teachers at All India Institute and more so at Guy's and St. Thomas. Then life choices, you're going whether to stay in a corporate, take out of the corporate, stay in India, go abroad, from abroad, come to India. So, in such situations, the question is, what do I truly want? What will make me genuinely happy? It was a very tough decision for me because here it was the whole new world, of course, the wealth that comes with it. And here it was starting from scratch, the unknown. But in my mind, I was sure is my country, my people. I don't want to give it a patriotic tone, but really, I was more comfortable there. I was more comfortable at home. And that was something I would not negotiate for anything. So you need to pause and ask what is important. What do I want? Think about it. Spend even a day alone for it. And once it is clear, you've taken the decision. Once a decision is taken, don't waver. Just get on with it. Right. So then comes the corporate years when I came to India a few months in Gangaram, Mulchan, Max. So everywhere, again, it was my first go into the private sector. So we are not a family of doctors. My father was a physicist. My mom was a homemaker. No doctors this way or that way. So, and For me, giving a service and taking money was, I was not comfortable in that space in that time, because I'd come from medical college, again to a scholarship, fellowship program. Of course, at Mohammed Taranisi's clinic, which was a private clinic in UK, I did see the finance bit of it. I was observing that as well. So in India, that was my first exposure. And I also learned, few technical things that are, because in IVF was not much taught in our curriculum in India. So IVF was a very new subject for me. And so when I joined work, those who were my seniors, who were practicing IVF at that time, I learned a lot from them. Then, I had already formed in my mind what should be the way to practice. And there are no rights or wrongs until and unless, the habits and the modus operandi of everybody is different. And somehow it was not fitting in with the way I wanted to do things. So I moved on. I went to a corporate in South Delhi with a slight salary hike from 25,000 to 35,000 per month. And I remember that evening, me and my husband, we celebrated, what a career jump that was. So, and then there was no IVF center, but I was the IVF lead doctor. There was no lab, there was nothing. So it took me another 8 months to establish that IVF lab. So we got the equipments, the corporate management was cooperative. And then, so those 8 months, and then there was Dr. Sheila Mehra who referred fertility patients to me. But my time was 9 to 5, and there were days I would see no patients. There were days I would see one patient. On good days, I would see four patients. So, but again, you do feel, little unnerved as to what will the future hold. Is this how it's going to be? But again, support system, spouse, family said, stick on with it, just hang on. And that is what I did. Then slowly the lab came. We started enrolling IVF patients, and I started interviewing embryologists before that. So they came, I questioned them. One thing again, in UK, though I'm a clinician, I'm not an embryologist. I did spend a lot of time in the lab because it was new thing, and I wanted to learn the nuances of the lab. So I, by the time, knew what happens. And in my interviews, I was not coming across anyone who would, according to me, fit the requirements to give results. So then I had a discussion with the corporate. We flew embryologists from London for our initial cases, because success to patients, your patients, it's non-negotiable. You have to give them the best output. And so when I knew that our current, at least the people I was meeting, maybe there was a lot of good embryologists also at that point in time, but I was not meeting them. So we called embryologists, we got the results. The positive tests started coming, the babies started, the pregnancy started coming, people started talking, and slowly, there was promotion, patients flow started increasing. And by the end of 1 year, I started seeing almost 50 patients a day. So, that was a huge transition which I saw in those days in the initial corporate. Then, as this happened, the management decided to bring another doctor. And I said, yes, we need more doctors for our, to take care of the patients. The decision was the doctor at par. And for me at that time, that was a little difficult, uncomfortable situation, because I'd spent almost 2 years. It was my baby. I felt it was my baby. And so I negotiated with the management that, why can't we have an associate? But for whatever reasons, every management has their own reasons, and that did not happen. So I had to move on. I moved on, went to another corporate. And by the time the practice had stabilized, patients would come by my name, slow and steady. And there was transitions in few corporates, and the uh, patient flow started increasing, the successes started coming, and I started to learn the corporate way of practicing. And this took about from 2007 to 2014, almost 8 9 years. And by the end of it, I was like, I just want to be something like Dr. I don't want to be him. Nobody can be like anybody else, but at least follow his path. I want to do it on my own now because I have the infrastructure, I have the patient base, I have the financial backup by now, and I know how to do it. And also, when I'd seen various corporates, every organization, the structure of the unit, the staff, everything was, getting wired in my brain. To see something and to actually do it, you need to kind of be very, very sure before you want to get on with it. So, in this part of the journey, what are the take home points? Uh, yeah. So, don't take your initial salary post learning, post education as a marker. It is your learning phase, your skills, your knowledge. Post residency is something, but your skills also have to develop, your experience also has to develop. And to build your own place, multiple skills have to develop. So give time to it, go step by step. And as I said, I treated every patient like the most important one, even one patient, and a few days ago, I was in a mall in South Delhi. I met one of those patients where I had spent, hours, and then the success came. It was not IVF then because we didn't have an IVF lab. It was ovulation induction, and they recognized me. The child had grown by then, almost 10 years, and it was such a fulfilling moment for me. So, you have to develop that patience. So for me, embryology in IVF is non-negotiable, and it's for everybody. We all know it, all those in the IVF field. So I said, yes, whatever it takes, even if it means, taking time to give me more salary, or you as a person investing, we don't know. I need a good embryologist. And so I could not have told that if I hadn't known the foundation myself. It's a skill I didn't learn in medical school, but I decided to learn that. And you spend time where the real work happens. Understand the field deeply enough, recognize the gaps, invest in quality, and decisions made for patients today will build your reputation tomorrow. Also, when there were instances in corporate, like I said, the journey can be up and down. One corporate said, well, you are taking the morning slot of the OPD, and that's why the patients are coming. And so now you take the afternoon slot. Well, now it's the afternoon, now you take the evening slot. And I was getting uncomfortable with all that. So I would say don't stay in a place where your work is not valued. Listen to your instincts. Self respect is very, very important. So you should stay where you feel valued, where you're comfortable, where your heart, mind is growing. Growth begins when you walk away from what is draining you. And the right place will always recognize your worth And of course, build your worth first. Okay, so that's the part of my journey. So, when one door closes, another door opens. But we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the ones that are opening for us. It's okay. It's okay if what you thought would have worked didn't work. Other doors will open up and they may be better than this door. So, give life that opportunity. So once I decided, well, that's it, I'm now going to start my center, there was no looking back. At that point in time, I had to start from scratch. I had to get a place, I had to get the staff, I had to build it, I had to see I had enough finances for it. So, first was the place. In South Delhi, we had located a nice place. But the final day of the signing, we realized it was a property that was disputed. So, we had to give that up. And almost everything was, lined up, and we had to give it up. And I said, oh my God, what now? And again, it was a Sunday. And I was coming back home. My driver was taking a U turn and I saw the building where I am now. I saw there to let. I said, oh my God, let's go there. Just take me there. And I went there. I spoke to the landlord and he saw this, young, small lady saying, she wants to take rent. And he said, are you sure you will be able to pay the rent and everything? I said, yeah, I'm sure I'll be able to pay the rent. So then he said, okay, then, this is what you come with your lawyer and we'll see. I said, I have no lawyer. I'm the only one. And, you please share I can get somebody from my, somebody I trust in the family. But actually, it was just me. So, anyway, it happened, and then I took this place on rent. We started the infrastructure. We had to get the PNDT licensing. So, for a few months, I paid rent because the work was going on. I was practicing elsewhere, taking patients elsewhere for the egg pickup and transfer. And then slowly, the people came, the patients started coming back here. We had a few things that I learned there, that the finance, the auditing, everything is very important in private practice. So there I saw in Dr. Taranisi's clinic, he used to have a weekly audit meeting with his chartered accountant. So I said, great, I don't have to do everything daily. So let me fix targets for, so this will be the meeting day for these staff, this will be the finance day, this will be the digital marketing day, this will be the licensing day. So that way I categorized, one hour every day of the week or sometimes in a month to get all the job done. Again with the staff, and I'm happy to say that my staff, most of them are more than 10 years with me, and one of the reason is the few basic tips of dignity and courtesy. And I think it goes a long way for everything, because your staff is your one of the strongest word of mouth. And if you do not treat them well, first they will go out and then they will tell you that it's not a good place to be in. They don't give you value. So yes, not everybody will do everything the way you want them to do. Everybody is made differently. You have to understand that, and you have to, when things don't work, I stop myself from blurting it out right then and there. If it's, of course, if it's very very crucial, then it has to be sorted out then. But if it can wait, then I jot down the points and we have weekly meetings. So that also, I think took me a long way in this journey. Also, then finally, 2014 we started, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, we're doing extremely well. COVID came, you know. COVID, yes, everything went back to half. But even at that point in time, it was okay, that's the way it is, stay at home, do just the basic work. And somehow I had the strength, both mentally, emotionally, and financially, not to do pay cuts for my staff. So they were continued to pay, though our revenue reduced by more than half. And so that went on for a few years, but COVID gave me time to rethink, because I think since class 12, since I entered medical college, or even before that, to prepare for it, the mind is always on, to do something, to get on with it, to activate patients, treatment, marketing. That's when we went completely, we were forced to go into a shell. And then we realized that, I realized at that point in time that, yes, of course, family, everything was going on side by side all these years, but there is more to it. And those years, I relished being with myself, being with my close ones. And I mean, of course, it was a very, difficult year for the entire world. I don't want to downplay that. But as a personal journey in that difficult time, it opened some doors for me as to what else should we do in life, and what should the journey be like. Is this what it is, or what else can we do? What is more important to me? So even downsides in life can open up certain channels for you. After that, again, we've come back, and again, doing reasonably well. We are considered one of the best IVF clinics in the city, and I'm told at least in the northern part of the country. And I'm now at a point where I'm again rethinking my life decisions as to what to do, where to do, how to do. And so let me just share a few points from those part, and then we can take the Q&As. So, yeah, so this is very, very important. I think the eyes cannot see what the mind doesn't know, and the mind won't know what your eyes haven't seen. So, opening a private center on my own, if I was, say, in 1992, I would never ever have thought about it. But if you're exposed to it, if you've seen something, and that is why I see the initial years, I'm not saying it has to be an experience abroad. Of course, different countries means different cultures, means different thought processes, opens up your mind a lot. But even in our country, meet different people, join different places of repute, talk to mentors. And if you don't know that this is a possibility, how will you even think on working on it? So my place at this doctor's, we are still in touch. I have a huge respect for him, still a leading doctor in London. And it opened up, it gave me the idea that even I can do it. And there will be times of, when during the last time years of my corporate, I was sure that, this is not what I will continue with. I will not continue with corporate life. I will do something on my own. So you will get that moment when your heart will tell you that, yes. So I am a very strong believer in your gut, you can say instinct, you can say heart, you can say, because it's not just a loose feeling. It comes through years of experience and what you see, and then it will yourself tell you what is comfortable, what is not comfortable. Entrepreneurship is about freedom, and freedom is invaluable. It's so invaluable. You have control over your time, your ethics, what discounts you want to give to patients, your protocols, your relationships. It is about money, but it's not just about money. Don't rush into independence. Grow clarity and let your vision mature. Sometimes what doesn't work out is saving you for something better. That property in South Delhi was not as visible and as landmark property as the one I have now. Remain alert. Did I miss the to let? Did I not go there that day? Had I just said, oh, some other day, I'm so depressed today? Remain alert when disappointed. Destiny often enters quietly. And, another emotional. So when we said, okay, let's open the center, the family got interested. My son, he was 15 years then, he designed this logo for me. So, your emotions also get involved in something you really want to build, your close ones. Of course, licensing. And I'm sure many of you want to know, okay, fine, this was your journey, but what about what did you do to open this center? Licensing, finance, we'll come to it if when asked. But yes, rent agreement, MOUs, PNDT, fire safety, nursing home registration, ART surrogacy law. You need to have everything, obviously, before you run a center, private limited company. Clinical excellence means nothing if your paperwork is weak. Respect law. Please respect law in all aspects, financially, everything. Pay your taxes, and that will grow your company in value. Sometimes we don't understand that math. A word about marketing. Word of mouth is huge. Earlier, 10, 20 years ago, there was the newspaper, then came television. But earlier, what was it? It was just word of mouth. And it is exponential marketing. So your each interaction with every patient every day, however senior you are, has to be taken as very, very, as a divine moment, because not only is it important for the success, the patient, but also for your entire life and your future. So, just a few words about marketing. I went into digital marketing very early on. From 2015, I was into Google AdWords and, not AdWords, but into social organic SEO as also. So, there are, the rules for medical marketing. You can market your center, you can't market yourself as a single doctor. So you can market your services. So word of mouth, digital marketing, a good website, good YouTube, Instagram, signages, brochures, CMEs, talks, your staff, one of the biggest word of mouth, your branding, what is your expertise? Like mine may be failed IVF cycles, third party reproduction. So what is your positioning, and what are your content? What content do you give to the public, to your patients? And patients to patient referral, ethical, doctor to patient, doctor to doctor referral, because I would refer a gastroenterologist whom I know who is good. Somebody would refer to me whom I think I will do justice to the patient. So that is also very good. Feedback, complaint handling, very, very important. So these are all these marketing strategies must be in place. And of course, weekly meeting. Don't make it a daily thing of shouting, screaming, disappointment, mood fluctuations. No, you have to remain very calm and grounded as a leader. But you need to tell what is wrong, and you need to tell it in a way. And if it is repeatedly not being followed, you need to take necessary actions. So you have to be very clear in all those things. Never criticize in public, praise loudly in front of others. Slow phases are invitations to realign. The truest, leadership is in moments of crisis. Everybody is watching you, what you will do in your crisis moment. Stay calm, stay grounded, think and take your action. This is my core staff, and I'm so blessed to have them with me. And we have now done more than 8,000. We have 8,000 babies, many, many cycles. And this journey has taught me that if your name has risen, it has risen quietly, and it will rise if you do your silent work every day, diligently, regularly. Success today has given me options. So I value success, of course, financial success, but more important that it's my choice what I want to do today. I can grow bigger, I can slow down, I can partner, I can pass on leadership. So I think having choices, having freedom is what life is all about. Your career will go through phases. There'll be a learning phase, there'll be a building phase, you will expand, you'll stabilize, you will mentor, and you will leave a legacy, hopefully. So you need to, kind of figure out at what point of journey you are and create yourself every day. So finally, I would like to conclude by saying that there is no substitute for skill, discipline, hard work. If you don't have them, no amount of mentorship program is going to work for you. Every phase of life teaches lessons. So don't get disappointment, use them to evolve. Strive for excellence in knowledge and skill. Seize every opportunity. You don't know what will take you where. Listen in your course of journey. You don't have to go here and there, but in your course of journey, seize the opportunities. Listen patiently to patients, to staff, to family members. Listen first. Trust your instincts, and they are shaped by experience. Again, I want to give a disclaimer that this is completely my experience in my time, and there would be different experiences of mentors, and I would sorry for missing the time, and let me see if there are certain questions, Sai, and then you can wrap it up. You can, in the meantime, share your thoughts, Sai, while I'm taking out the questions.
I think it was a really insightful, detailed, elaborate, what do you call, description of how we build our own practice and then we grow through different phases of our career, ma'am. I think the change that can be noted off late is more that it has become more of a race to acquire degrees rather than competency. But I think through your slides, it is pretty evident that at the end of the day, it is skill and it is patient communication and your rapport that builds your legacy and this thing. So I think we all need to take a leaf out of that and understand that it's going to take time, but things do fall into place at the end.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind comments. And let me see, just 1 minute. So, there are a few questions here, and one of the question is, uh, how did you know when it was right time for you to start your own practice? So, actually, the right time comes when you have, uh, like you mentioned, the skill, the knowledge, and also all the financial preparations that are needed. So that 7 8 years that I was in the corporate, I did take up certain uh, I made my financial kitty so that I would not have to take any loans. But you can even take loans, and very soon in our mentorship journey we would describe as to, if you want to start private practice and if you have no particular loan or anything, how you can start. So my decision was very clear that I wanted independence. I wanted to take care of my patients in a way that I, without anybody's commenting on that. For example, a repeat cycle sometimes needs discounts, and people sometimes cannot have so much of money for IVF practice, IVF cycles. And so these were few things which I was very sure, plus I had that experience. So by the time I started practice quite late, around 40, 39, 40, 41. So many start earlier who are, into the family of clinics, but even some start later. So you will know when it is the right time. So, what is the biggest mistakes young doctors make while early in their career? So, this I want you to give me some insight from what you've heard and from your own, what is the challenge you feel young doctors are feeling nowadays, or are they sorted? Do they know what to do next, or are they very clear? What do you think is the situation first, and what do you think is perhaps an error that they are doing?
Ma'am, I think the current situation is where, with so many new colleges and all also coming up, I think there is uh, insecurity among the young doctors that are we trained enough after pursuing a particular degree or after coming out of a course, or I mean, where do we end up in the end so that and we could start doing procedures or just move on our own. I think that is the major insecurity that is there.
Right. So, also, when you are choosing a specialty, what do people nowadays look at while choosing their specialty?
Uh, I think, ma'am, now, I mean, going by what has been chosen in the last NEET, post graduation entrance, and other things, uh, that it's more of stressful life. Now people are choosing more towards balanced branches. But I still think there are people who are choosing out of passion. Like I always wanted to be a surgeon. So no matter what, I would take up surgery. But yes, there has been a trend that choosing slightly lower workload branches with a balanced life and getting into independent practice early has been the due course.
Right, right, right. So, we are getting quite a few comments, and many of them have been, quite, they found this little insightful. And now, I would also request all of you, if any other further questions, we have another 2, 3 minutes we can take. And there's another question, very interesting one. What would you do differently if you were again starting today? Oh, that's a very interesting question. And, in my life, I feel I have, like now, I've in this phase, there is, though we are doing a lot of cycles, we are doing good work and everything, uh, the decision to evolve. So I am a person who wants to, evolve with time. Status quo for me is unacceptable. So maybe sometimes I feel remaining status quo for a little longer time is also a positive and a strength. So for me, I have this deep desire to keep on evolving, to keep on changing, to see what is next in my life journey. So perhaps I would want that, aspect of me differently. So now there is a question about licensing and what all do we do for the IVF center or other places. So let me just quickly run through that, and then we will conclude our program. So this for young doctors who are trying to open a practice. It can be any field really. First is your decision, your qualifications, your legal prerequisites, and your financial condition. Are you practice ready? So, in that, the pros are personal challenge, freedom, independence. The cons, of course, are financial ups and downs, a lot of admin and other things on your mind, and impact on work life balance. So, what are the planning consideration? You start with the foundation, you define your scope of work, you arrange your finance, you set up your structures, equipments, and your marketing. Costs, you need to find out, say it's a small practice, just a clinic with some facilities. So that cost structure will be very different from an ophthalmology cost structure. So you know how much in ophthalmology it costs more than a fertility, infrastructure runs into crores. So all that planning can be done, and one day we will get somebody to help us in financial planning of private practice. And so everything depends on square foot area and where you are placed. And these are the basic requirements of today's private practice in metropolitan cities. You would need a good ambience with proper light ventilation. So you would need good interiors for it. And what all equipments you need to list them out. We will one day bring somebody who will, for various fields, give us a list of from where to get the equipments from. We will start with fertility and move from there on. These are basic equipments which almost every clinic practice should have. And these are all non-negotiable equipments on the left, and then some for the right for patient safety. The licenses are clinical establishment registration, fire safety NOC, occupation certificate, pollution and waste management, DPCC, drug and pharmacy license for those who want to continue with that. You need your nursing, doctors, pharmacists for gynae. You need PNDT, MTP for IVF. You need ART, surrogacy. You need tie-up with ambulance. You need tie-up with blood bank. And of course, your AMCs for all your equipments, ultrasounds, lift, generators, lab equipments, the licensing, the AMCs for all of these things, biomedical waste. So this we will send you as perhaps a WhatsApp message or an email that we'll figure out. We have all your details. So these basics we will send, and the details we will do it specialty wise. And we've already covered your availability, accessibility, and your attitude are very important in practicing marketing, networking, and all that. Again, there'll be a course on marketing, the different parts of it, which we will take on. So, I think we are now done with the questions. And how should you balance personal and professional life? How much family helped or held you back? Okay, so see, I was in Delhi when I started practice, and people would say you have to practice till 9 p.m., 10 p.m., evening practice. Nato, from where will the patients come? They come after office. And I had from AIMS to UK, it was always 9 to 5. I have not worked beyond 9 to 5, and I know family time, though younger children need more time, but my evenings were always sacrosanct. I would definitely reach home by around 6, and 6 to 11 was family time on most days. Sundays were non-negotiable. Sundays, I would not go in the initial time when the kids were younger. Of course, for doctors, CMEs, everything happens on Sundays. So, somewhere you have to draw the line that this I will do and this I will not do. And only then you can have the balance. And I will admit I've crossed those lines on numerous occasions, but I've still again told myself to kind of come back and maintain that, because yes, in this desire and this profession, this gives you a huge high, we sometimes miss that out, but which is not what we should be doing, and I've been conscious of that. My family has been extremely helpful, extremely understanding. And again, I don't want to bring a woman man dialogue into it. I feel for a man who is successful, the lady is very, proactive and helping and proud. And I'm happy that my spouse is also helping, proactive, and proud of what I have done. But I think that's the way it should be. It should be that way, and I would encourage all youngsters to support each other in their journey, but also very, very important, not give up family time, not give up your time for your children, and the children in the younger years need their time. So slot things out and just close one compartment and move to the other compartment. I've tried to do this throughout. Even now I slip, but I still train myself. So thank you for your question, Kavya. So I think that's the end for today. And once again, thank you for taking time out on your Sunday morning. If there are any other things that you would like to be highlighted in our future mentorship programs, where we will, what you want more to hear from us, we would like to know. I am sharing and email ID, which I want all of you to please note down, and we will perhaps forward it to you as well. So it's beyondresidency@gmail.com is your queries, and the telephone number is 8595 So once again, beyondresidency@gmail.com. We want to hear more from you about what issues you want to discuss, and 8595 is the number. So thank you once again. Thank you so much. Sai Rajendra, do you want to come online? And I want to thank Mr. Rajendra for his operational support, and thank you so much for that. And thank you, Sai, for agreeing to host this program and be with me and giving me the encouragement. And of course, thanks to Dr. Paul for giving the idea to do this. With this, we end this today's session, and thank you very much. Thank you once again.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks a lot. I think it's more, if I look into the entire session, more it's beyond residency. I think it's more of life lessons which you have shared and a lot of learnings for me also. I'm really grateful to you for being a part of this event and look forward more such events, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So here I just want to add that, the practical aspects will be told to you in future scene. But if your, mental, emotional, patience, all that is not in place, then you will shake from here to there. So you have to first have the diligence and the patience and your journey's alignment to take all the practical things on board. And therefore, I thought little bit of sharing on a philosophical front will be important as well. So thank you once again. Thank you. Thank
Certainly, ma'am. Certainly. Thank you so much for sharing your values. It had a lot of impact on me. So nice of you. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Bye, Sai. Take care.
Bye bye.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, ma'am, for all your insight
Thank
and
you.
time that you put